Hello and welcome to Inside Modular, the podcast of commercial modular construction brought to you by the Modular Building Institute. This podcast is also brought to you by Modular Genius, an MBI and AIA award-winning design-build modular building contractor. Whether you're looking for a custom permanent modular building or a relocatable building, Modular Genius will take your concept and make it a reality. If you're interested in reducing costs and accelerating your schedule, please visit modulargenius.com to get a free quote in 60 seconds or call 888-420-1113. Mention this ad and they will create a free custom floor plan for your project. That's modulargenius.com. With a compact footprint, variety of unit options, and seamless system management, City Multi-Variable Refrigerant Flow Zoning Systems from Mitsubishi Electric Trane HVAC US are a one-stop solution for modular projects. With efficient operation and the ability to connect to commercial ventilation equipment, third-party systems, and comprehensive controls solutions, City Multi-VRF can help you meet energy and performance goals on your next project. From off-site development to on-site assembly, you can trust our manufacturer-level support to guide you from system selection to design to startup, no matter the application. To learn more about our offerings, visit MitsubishiPro.com. Welcome everyone, my name is John McMullen and I'm the Marketing Director here at MBI. Today I'm talking with Damon Pross, President of Modular Genius. Damon is here today to talk about the challenges and successes in constructing a modular firehouse. Damon, thanks for coming in.
Good morning, John. Thanks so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
I really appreciate your time. Let's dive right in. It's my understanding that Modular Genius is celebrating 15 years in business this coming May. Is that right?
That's true. Just coming up on 15 here in May, and just been exciting and a fun go at it.
Well, that's fantastic. Congratulations on that. You're, of course, the president of Modular Genius and one of the founding co-owners, I should say. Tell me about how Modular Genius got started.
We think it's a great story. Myself and my two business partners, also founding co-owners, we started in the industry almost 25 years ago each, and started out as a small business, which is now probably, if not the biggest, modular supplier in the industry. We worked there for years, learned a lot from the grassroots up, and midway through working there, I'd say 10 years into it, we started seeing different opportunities and niches for kind of this medium market, middle of the road market, and hence just started having conversations and created Modular Genius. We started off just doing some of the simple relocatable work and some simple projects, just to get the company established, to, grow things, get cash under our belt, and then hence 15 years later have just grown this thing into a relocatable, permanent, modular company that does, turnkey solutions, design, build, and all sorts of contracts throughout the United States.
That's awesome. As you mentioned, you and your business partners have had a long career in the modular industry, and even before Modular Genius got started. What can you tell me about yourself, Damon, and about Modular Genius, and maybe even a little bit about the industry as you've seen it grow over these years?
It's been a fantastic ride. I guess really to start with myself, again, I started about 25 years ago, started at a time frame when I would say the industry was developed but still growing, still kind of in its infancy stage. So I was fortunate enough to kind of learn about everything throughout the industry, not just technical, installation, construction, but just the whole business aspect. So as I developed and grew, I was fortunate enough, again, just to really be part of an industry that is now where it is today. And a little bit about Modular Genius, again, as I mentioned, when we started out, we felt that we saw this middle market, that some companies were doing real small projects, some companies were doing some really large projects. We started doing some small and developed into the middle of the road projects, I'll say, and then hence have since grown doing some of the big stuff turnkey. Again, we're 15 years at it now with Modular Genius. We continue to grow. We continue to increase our resources and technical support. So that really ties back into the industry. The greatest thing, I think I'm very fortunate myself, Brad Goodman, Dave Vanicki, we're all the co-owners, again, just with tons of experience, but we've seen just an industry really develop and grow over the past 25 years, but I'd say even more so in the past 10 years, where we're doing some major we're calling it modular, but it's off-site construction. We're getting the site ready while we're also getting the building ready. Hence, we can offer speed, less disturbance on site, a lot of green building portions to it, less waste, and some really major initiatives that clients, existing clients, and prospective clients for Modular Genius, as well as the industry, are just really taking advantage of. So I think really in a nutshell, it's just the industry itself has just really developed and come up with some really excellent building solutions for all different types of building uses and types of clients and business sectors. And it's just been fantastic and exciting.
It has been. I know the industry's just been booming. I was taking a look at Modular Genius's website in preparation for this podcast, and it seems as though you guys have done a little bit of everything with permanent and relocatable projects, really in every sector. So I was curious, how has Modular Genius's processes evolved over the past 15 years as you've been working on all these types of projects?
Modular Genius itself, again, the process, we started out walking before we ran. And with that, I mean, we did in this industry, there's a lot of temporary classrooms and relocatable swing space and for government entities. And we started doing a lot of that work, which didn't take a lot of capital and cash and built up. And then we started doing some medium-sized work, some turnkey services. And hence, we've evolved into a full turnkey we always tell everybody, we can do your project in whole or part, complete turnkey. Our sweet spot, we are a modular building contractor, but we also have GC license in over 35 states. So the neat thing about Modular Genius and what we've done to develop and grow, it starts with our people. We have, obviously the executive management group ownership. We mentioned about our experience and expertise, but more importantly, we just have a team that can support the design, project management, installation, individuals here that are employees that have, I'll say, infrastructure, site work experience, as well as modular and the whole process throughout construction.
I want to turn my attention to the Firehouse Project I mentioned in the introduction, because it's a very cool project. It's a Pemberton Township Modular Firehouse and Community Center, which, besides being a great project, is notable because it won a first place prize at our Awards of Distinction in 2020. I'm curious, what are some of the challenges you faced during that project?
I'd say that the most interesting one out of the gate is that the project was located on a national reserve. It's actually, I didn't know anything about it. The mayor of Pemberton, Mayor Patriarca, reached out to us and his business team, and they needed to replace an existing old dilapidated fire station and replace it on a national reserve. And the Pinelands National Reserve is this 1.1 million acre piece of land that in the 70s, the government, it's, I believe, one of the first, if not the first, national reserve. Yeah. It's a community just made up of what they call the Pineland Barrens. And it's just apparently 50 some communities. There's like developments, but within there's farms and forest and protected species of animals and plants. So as you can imagine, putting something there, we had to be careful with the land. We had to be careful with the look of the building and the community and whatnot. So I would say that was that was one of the most interesting and greatest challenges. And then the other piece was working with them in a expeditious way to help them, for lack of a better word, it wasn't a formal full design build, but help them design this from taking that, demoing an old building and replacing it in kind and giving it a new look and feel, doing it through design, procurement, and contracts, which they ended up utilizing, which is a cooperative purchasing contract that we're a contractor on, called the Keystone Purchasing Network. So I'd say those two are probably the primary when it comes to getting the job going and making the job happen. And then you also have like your construction challenges, but I think those were the most interesting.
Well, it sounds like there was definitely some delicate site work that had to go on there for that project. So tell me more about the conversations you had with the township itself when the project was being considered. What ultimately got them to decide on a modular structure?
Again, we were replacing an existing building that sat there that was, I don't know the exact age, but I believe it was before the 70s, so it was old. I mean, it was inhabitable. Mm-hmm. So it was a fun project because we got up there and we came up just in, I'd say, in the pre-planning stage and said, here we are, here's this building. Again, we got to meet, which they have a comprehensive management plan in the Pinelands that you have to follow ecological environment stuff. So we saw this building and we said, all right, we have to demo it and then we have to replace it in kind. And that's when just the rubber hit the road, the wheels started turning. We had to think about environment, ecological. We had to think about, obviously demoing and making sure health, safety. And then the fun part for our team and their team and a whole collaboration, even with the Pinelands management plan that's in place that you have to follow, was just creating this beautiful aesthetic building that's modular. And again, this project has been on their radar for a long time, so they wanted speed, they wanted minimal disturbance, which modular offers. Again, they tied in that KPN contract, which is a procurement contract, and they were able to kind of put all the pieces together. I'd say the whole group, Modular Genius, Pemberton Township's mayor and his team, as well as, the architects and engineers and everyone we pulled together.
Nice. You've mentioned the KPN, the Keystone Purchasing Network, a couple of times. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's Modular Genius is one thing we always like to make clear is there's several purchasing co-ops throughout the nation. And our experience and understanding is this is one of the stronger ones. And it's a purchasing program where they go out, this organization will go out, and it started a lot in the education market, but it's hence moved to local government and entities but the long and short of it is they put together a program and they go out and formally bid in multiple states under state contract procurement laws, and they bid products and services to create this co-op for better purchasing power, bigger purchasing power. So, for example, they have Keystone Purchasing Network has hundreds of schools throughout the United States buying off of this, like literally even like trash bags or... So you can imagine that if they can save 2-3 cents on trash bags throughout a year, it's just a huge advantage. Plus, they eliminate the procurement process because they've already done it. It's been formally bid. So the neat thing, too, is they supply, like, again, we're a contractor on there. We bid this formally for the modular building piece, classrooms and buildings. They have office buildings, dorms. We formally bid it and we're awarded. But, I mean, they do amazing stuff on there, like furniture, roofing supplies, even like athletic fields, trucks. You pretty much name a product that like a school would need or even a private entity or local government, municipality. A lot of the stuff's on there.
Definite advantages there for sure.
Yeah, it's competitively bid in each state, and it just minimizes the procurement process. It gives better buying power. And specifically, we went and bid it, and we bid, like, they'll actually put down specific, like, business use buildings. They have modules on there. They have specifications. They have the installation work. So you can purchase a building off of it, lease a building off of it, and we can do the installation. And that's what we did with Pemberton for this fire station. It actually started, our relationship started where they were growing their Department of Public Works, and Pemberton went and did the Keystone. They signed up. The interesting too, to become a member, there's no fee and there's no surcharges because that's already been considered. So they do volume discounts in the products and services. So Pemberton Township signed up as a member on this contract, and not only modular, my understanding is use it for other products and services.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I'm going to switch gears on you for a second. I was reading about this project. I think you mentioned this before, that the fire station was inspired by and built with the local National Reserve in mind. Can you elaborate on that? What was done to help the building really fit into its environment?
A lot of things. The neat thing about this project, too, to tell you about a firehouse, is this project, the township wanted to have the fire station and the community, it's a fire station and community center to help revitalization and to bring the safety and health portion of the community together with the community, with the public. So it has public meeting rooms as well as the fire station. There's different sectors. So the neat thing about the building is it's traditional modular with an upgrade modular. And we married the two types of modular together, again, to give them speed, minimal disturbance on site. But to answer your question, the part about the National Reserve is we had to, again, work with the Pinelands. They have a management plan and come up with very nice aesthetics and to blend in with the community, but more importantly, with the National Reserve. Mm-hmm. So if anyone that's listening wants to kind of see more about what we're talking, we have this on our website, and we also have on our social media platform on YouTube.
Okay.
It'll show you the installation of it and then the final finished project. So there's case studies. You can visit modulargenius.com. You can visit YouTube. And what you'll find is this building, it's amazing when you look at it, because you'll see this half-high brick finish that kind of blends in to give you that forest outdoorsy look, mm-hmm. with a green hardy panel and a standing seam metal roof. But the standing seam metal roof literally is this burnt orange, like the color combination. When we got the colors, we were kind of like, wow, this is kind of interesting. But when it came together, it was just beautiful. And when you see it, it sits on the reserve, it sits in the community, and it just blends in. And we put together, I would say, again, the collaboration just put together a really nice looking building that ideally, meets the use for the community, but then also just has a really, really beautiful look to it.
It is a nice building, for sure. I was wondering if you could tell me more about the factory-built portion of the project. How were you able to include the apparatus bays, those big open spaces for the fire trucks, and connect those with the firehouse and the community center?
Well, any project that starts, and you mentioned, for those that are listening, when you do a firehouse, you have the apparatus bay, which is the fire equipment and where they supply everything, the traditional roll-up doors that you see on a fire department. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That application itself is like a slab on grade, and you just drive, obviously, just like any garage, you drive the truck into the garage, and then that's where we utilized a modular building that's one of our key suppliers, Whitley Manufacturing, has a patented system. It's a modular system it's a hinged wall system that we use so we can get the higher heights to be able to, 18, 20 foot height, so you can get a fire truck in there and be able to. So it's manufactured in the plant while we're getting the site ready. Mm-hmm. And it's again, it's a hinge system that we build in the factory, the roof and the walls. And when we get the site, we crane it and we pull it up, and the hinged walls pop out. We lag them to the foundation, and then we just start doing the finishes and finish the site work. The other piece to it was what we'll call traditional modular. That's the occupied space for the fire department staff, office, restrooms, meeting rooms type stuff, area for them to hang out while they're waiting for calls or working on things. And then they had a community center, and that also had its own space with restrooms and a little kitchen for the community to utilize. And that portion was also built in the plant. Both were being manufactured at the same time, both sides, apparatus bay and the traditional modular occupancy side. At the same time, we were getting the site ready. And when I say we're getting the site ready, we're doing the excavation, we're putting the foundation in place, and then we're bringing in the utilities. And hence, that's where we can do the project. That's where Modular Industry, Modular Genius, anything offers the speed. We did this project for them. They'll attest in about half the time that it would have taken. It would have taken them a year and a half, 2 years to complete this project. And we did it from the design, procurement, contracting stage in less than a year.
Nice.
So turned out really nice.
In general, are there particular structural considerations when designing firehouses and really any other building that requires a lot of open interior space? How is that accomplished in a factory setting?
The most important thing, I think, for the modular industry to express to people is no different than quote-unquote traditional construction. So the way it's completed in the factory, or even just the overall project, is exactly the same way it has to be designed, engineered, inspected, I'll say stamped and sealed, where you have a professional engineer stamp all the drawings architecturally, mechanical, electrical, plumbing. We do that in the manufacturing plant. Majority of states, if not all, have a formal process that they have third-party engineers, and they have a process that they put together that looks at the drawings and makes sure they meet everything per the state, structurally, mechanically, electrical, plumbing, ADA, everything. So that entire process is exactly same construction in general. And then what we do, you mentioned about just having clear span or wide open areas. That's what you call clear span in any construction. It's really literally the same materials and steel that you would use to span it. It's structurally calculated, designed, and incorporated into the building. So literally the same process, same inspections, same engineering reviews, code requirements, compliance, national fire protection. That's the beauty of Modular Genius in this industry, is we do that as part of the process to get to the finish line. So during the design planning stage, we figure all that out. We put it together. It's formally executed. And then on the back end, when you're completed, you have everything in compliance.
Well, I appreciate you going into some detail about that, because I know that can be sort of a misconception about modular construction, that everything needs to be a little module, a little rooms connected together. But really, modular construction is more than capable of doing these big open spaces that can be used for anything. So I appreciate you going into that a little bit. Tell me more about some of the other notable projects Modular Genius has worked on last year and coming into this year.
Well, you made me think right away when you said that about the misconception. We are one of the top multi-story modular contractors in the nation. So we have a neat project that was underway that's 3 stories, that's modular with Alcon. It's business use. It's one of our most notable ones. But I'm kind of trying to tell you in 2-part that, again, that misconception. This is a multi-story building, 3 stories, modular, again, same design, codes, engineering. We're going to provide them finishing up, speed, less disturbance on site, which is going to be a better return on investment, quicker return on investment for them, and still give them that business use, office space, look, feel. And it's we do permanent applications. These buildings have the same life expectancy of any building that's out there. Some notables that we had, the neat thing is Pemberton we're going to do a police station addition for them. We've just had such a good relationship and success with the team and using that Keystone Purchasing Network contract. Anyone that's interested in that, if you visit our website at modulargenius.com and you scroll down to About Us, Purchasing Cooperatives, and then KPN, and you'll see all other contracts on there. You can gain more information about that, and it spells it out. I always tell everybody, again, we're a contractor. KPN can vet and tell everyone how to utilize it and what to use and how to sign up, and that link's on there too, so you can get a hold of their director. But we have information on there to help people understand. But we have it's fun, man. It's really fun because we're doing libraries. We're doing, we like to express this is what Modular Genius is doing, but the industry, this modular industry, and this kind of takes us back to the beginning of the growth and development and how the industry has evolved. We're doing multi-story projects. We're doing single-story projects. We're doing permanent relocatable projects, but they include, the high schools, temporary and permanent, education use, business use, libraries, government entities, churches, fire departments, police stations. So some of the projects that are out there, to name a few, we're doing Baltimore County schools, Baltimore City schools, Montgomery County schools, all schools throughout the Mid-Atlantic region, just different government entities and municipalities. It's just amazing the amount of work that's out there, but the solution that Modular offers, and this is what we've been doing in 2020 and what we see in 2021.
It's definitely been a fantastic time for the industry. I know a lot of people I've talked to are just as busy as they want to be, so the industry is just taken off, which is great for all of us. What's the rest of this year looking like for you guys at Modular Genius? Are you planned through the year into next year? How far ahead have you got projects?
The year started out great. The first quarter is at or even over budgeted. Second quarter, we've been picking up the amount of jobs that we thought we'd have, and we continue to see, our pipeline's full through 2022. Again, those projects include some of the stuff that's on the radar, or there's several government renovation projects going on where we do relocatable space, and they'll go in, we call it swing space. So when they're renovating, we'll put a building out, 3,000, 10,000, 20,000, or multiple buildings to house staff temporary while a government building's being renovated, federal, local, municipality, whatever. So we'll do that. We'll lease it for 12 months, 5 years, depending on how long the project is. So there's a bunch of that work that's in front of us, Modular Genius, and I would say industry-wide. There's a ton of continued. One of the biggest markets is education, and I would say primary education, colleges, universities. Everyone in that industry is always looking to change and move space, whether it's temporary, permanent additions. They always like the opportunity of leasing, or if they go permanent, they like the idea of doing an addition and, again, having lease disturbance, being able to do it quicker. A lot of these schools don't know their enrollment or things are changing, and, they need to get something done in 6 to 9 months versus, 12 to 18. So they take advantage of the modular. So we have a lot of that education work, a lot of healthcare work. One of the notable projects we've done is a hospital addition. We do like emergency room additions. We do all different hospital additions. So we have multiple healthcare, different types of labs. There's a lot of COVID work going on, whether it's social distancing and organizations, whether they're business and education needing more space. But then there's also new initiatives with, research and development and healthcare that many of these organizations are taking advantage of modular. Again, I'll say it over and over again: speed, minimal disturbance. Most hospitals you go to, how easy is it to find parking or to find land, right?
Right.
So when you do a modular project, You can build it in the plant while you get the site ready, and you don't have all the lay down material, and you don't have all this stuff taking up parking lot space or land for 6-12 months. And a lot of hospitals take advantage of that modular piece because of that. But it's been fun. Again, it's assembly use, business education, just so many different sectors, so many different clients. It's just an amazing solution that I think, if anybody listening and wants to learn more, our website is really robust in the sense that it'll tell you about Modular Genius, but it'll tell you about the industry. You can learn about the industry, the advantages of modular, or I'll call off-site construction. You'll see case studies. You'll see just services. You can go and get a quote on our site. You can get a floor plan. So anyone listening out there, if you're interested in modular or Modular Genius, visit our site. It'll take you to great opportunities just to learn how beneficial modular is and how it can help projects. Again, return on investment, speed, relocatability if you need it, if you need to lease something, if you want to purchase something, permanent building additions. It's anything that you need built can pretty much be done.
Well, I really appreciate your time today, Damon. I know Modular Genius is busy as it can be. I appreciate your time and stopping by today and having this conversation.
We want to thank MBI. Thank you so much. We're proud to be awarded this because we know how much time and effort and the committee they put together. And we just want to thank MBI for all that they do as well, putting this podcast together, but more importantly, how much they do across the globe for modular, for the industry, and just the members, the all different contractors. It's just a great organization. So thank you so much.
Well, sure. On behalf of us here, you're very welcome. It's a pleasure for us, and it's great to have members like Modular Genius. We appreciate it. My name is John McMullen, and this has been another episode of Inside Modular, the podcast of commercial modular construction. Until next time.